Welcome to your Thursday drive with Lori and Kayleen. We are off. We have driven over to this area already because we had to get into the community first. It is a fully gated community.
I told Lori we should be wearing jail shirts. Because
Don't
we have
tempt
to
me.
break
like
in.
Like
we have to break in to. This is like probably the best manned gated community in all of Colorado Springs.
Yeah, I mean you have areas that are gated, so you need the code to get in, but really you can probably just wait until someone leaves or enters and then go in behind them. There's other ones that, like I'm thinking of Kissing Camels, where it's gated, but it's not super enforced.
Like they're like, oh, what's your name? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so they just kind of keep track of it.
This is like literally,
this one
let me see your business card. Where's your confirmed showing? Oh, look at there's deer. There's like half a dozen.
So where are we? We're on the western side of Colorado Springs above Manitou. When you look over at the foothills from any point of the city, you will see these homes that are built into the bluffs, and you're like, where is that?
It is on the mountain.
Like, no, it's not. It's in a gated community called Cedar Heights on the western side of Garden of the Gods even. So a lot of sprinkling of homes in here, and I would say price point $850. We're gonna show you an $850 home today. We're gonna show you a 1.6 new build, and then we're gonna show you some lots of land that you could
some lots that you can build on.
Correct.
So I will say, Cedar Heights, it is probably, like we talk about breathtaking views, you don't really get Pikes Peak, but holy cow, the red rocks and the city of Colorado Springs, and it's definitely like secluded. It almost reminds me of like parts of like Evergreen up in Denver.
Oh, Denver.
Like it's a little bit further out, but it really is like a prestigious destination neighborhood.
Yeah, and you have, again, older homes built with newer homes. We're kind of seeing that theme throughout this as we're driving in this area. Now you are building a lot of these lots. That's why you need to reach out to us. Could be a difficult build depending upon the lot and how it's situated.
Correct. So what I was going to say, there are a lot of lots, and we actually get quite a few reach outs of people, what about these lots? Can I build what I want? I've read through covenants, and they have very strict guidelines and covenants to create a caliber of home that is up here in Cedar Heights. So they have very strict covenant guidelines. With minimum square footages, types of finishes, roof lines. Most of these lots, especially if they are the more affordable ones, really have to have engineered foundations, and there's not a lot of land. Like it's going to be an expensive build because it has to be engineered and really anchored into the ground, and so it is not a cheap build, although the land may be cheaper.
And you're probably, and I say this, because obviously you can find a place and prove me wrong, but there's not going to be a ton of like lawn space. It's going to be more of like that natural Colorado landscaping with the sagebrush and the scrub oak and the grasses, which is good. You don't need to like really go out and like mow your lawn all the time, except for maybe in certain places.
They have a bronze
they do. Bear and what is that?
Bighorn sheep.
Bighorn sheep. Which, if you go up the Pikes Peak Railway, I've seen them going up the Pikes Peak Railway. Yeah.
Have you been up the Cog Railway?
Mm-hmm. One time. Not the new one.
Turn left onto.
I don't think I've been on the new one. So,
okay.
Our first house we're going to show you is coming up here. It is a new build at 1.6. I'm excited to show you this one. I think we showed this to a client. I think it was a year ago. Was it a year ago?
Oh.
I can't remember how many days in the market's been active. I know we walked this house.
Yes,
with a
we
client.
did walk this house.
And
it was just finishing up. So I bet this house has been on the market for almost a year.
A year and
but, like finished for almost a year.
I think so too. So we're gonna get out and show this one to you. So 1.6 in this area, gorgeous option. Let's go take a look. So we are here at our new build option for that 1.6. Kayleen is opening it up for us. I'm excited to see the inside of it. I saw it before with clients, but It was not done like this yet. I think it's in there, Sporty Spice.
Look at this view out the front. Like you really feel like you're in the mountains.
Yeah. It is gorgeous.
All right. It is amazing.
It is so different to see this. Because when last time we saw it, it was like at studs, or I don't even think it was at drywall. Because I remember walking it. And so to see it finished and all come together, it just presents so different. So tell us a little bit about your thoughts on this one.
So to me though, what you can't see in a picture, a lot of you that are watching, like when you come to this point in your life, you want luxury, but you don't want large. And that's kind of what I get here. Like you get this wow factor with these large ceilings and it feels open. I mean, obviously the finishes are higher end. You have flat front cabinetry. You have the wide plank. I think this is an engineered hardwood with a little bit of texture, KitchenAid appliances, whatnot. But one thing that I think you can't tell is that it still feels kind of that quaint and homey. It doesn't feel overwhelming. One thing I noticed when I walked in through that front door, which you can see mountain views out the front, you see trees in Colorado out this triple glass slider. Like these are they Pella windows, Pella doors? Like everything is top notch. If you look up, they have one of those big industrial fans. It definitely has that mountain modern feel. This is a welded or an iron mantle on a fireplace with a slate, and just definitely a Colorado feel. Even the staircases, if you look at this, it has the wood treads and then the carpet, textured carpet that goes up with the lighting and the iron railing. You know, just all of these details is what brings these luxury homes really to the next level. You know, even if you build $1 million+ home with classic, these are the things that elevate it even more that classic won't do, or you know, it'll be a penny. One thing I want to point out, this texture on the wall. I know it's a flat texture. Everything.
We don't have that here. People are always
so
amazed
when we
by
were
that.
building my home, I really wanted a hand textured wall. $18,000 upgrade for one level. I just couldn't justify that for the caliber of home that I have. But something like this, absolutely. You get views all the way from these windows all the way around. You feel seclusion when you're up here. Now, all of these bedrooms, these are 8-foot ceilings upstairs, but they have ensuite bathrooms. I'm out of breath. Is it the elevation up here, Lauren?
We don't have
the
an excuse
altitude
living here. Usually when people come, we're like, it's okay, you're not used to
this
it.
would be my office. Look at that view for your office, and it's all window on that front. So you have your 2 bedrooms with the Jack and Jill bathroom in between, and that's all that is up here. So say you want your bedroom on the main level and then 2 offices with views, this would be a perfect fit home.
So you do have like a front office here with gorgeous views. So this could be your office, and then this is master. Where are you? There you are.
Yeah, so you have the vault, the main level primary. Let me turn on this fancy little chandelier. Freestanding tub. Check out the powder room.
Over here?
Yeah, it's
It is though, you're right. It doesn't feel so huge that you kind of get lost in your own home. Oh, that is cute.
uh-huh.
I love that.
And then they
Same
have an
tile.
actual mudroom and then the laundry on the main.
I always love when they show a mudroom and there's like one thing in it. I'm like, that would be filled with like coats and hats and backpacks and 15 types of
Like
shoes.
to me, I would not move my whole family here. This is a like when you don't have kids' house and they just come visit.
And you throw them downstairs here, basically.
Yeah. Like I know that sounds bad, but I feel like you don't have the room.
This is your workout room. So yeah, you do have a whole nother level down here when you have guests or your kids come visit, like Kayleen said, 'cause she's kicking them out of living in here with her. But now they are, so this is kind of like that storage area for your Christmas trees.
Yes, and there's 2 bedrooms down here and an unfinished space. It does have all of these black framed windows.
I do love that. Those are expensive.
And I do think this house, you know, once you put furniture in here, could really be elevated.
It does. It makes such a difference. Like that's why I'm saying upstairs you would just have studs, but to see it furnished with finished, you know, like how you'd fill out the space makes a big difference. Like if this was like that movie theater or workout room, and then you had your huge plush,
and it really is
entertainment area here with game room.
It's a walkout with a secluded patio. This home, I would say, is definitely this Colorado seclusion dream with a modern home close to your way out of the mountains and just stunning views. But you'll have to come to the table with about $1.6 million. So one thing I do want to point out, that even though there is not finished landscaping at this price, the builder has done quite a bit as far as the landscaping goes. There is tons of money in concrete, retaining walls, your drainage. They have spent money on even the exterior with natural stones. They've incorporated metals, stucco, acrylic stucco actually, but the actual cost for landscaping would be pretty minimal because of all the work that the builder has already done.
It's a gorgeous option, 1.6.
Look, there is more wildlife out here. It definitely is like
the Colorado
picturesque. Look, he even has a little antler. I will point out though, so if we go back, since we're heading to an empty lot, builders, I've done some research, and there are some builders that I would say would be a better fit to build on some of these lots, because you will need probably a design build type contractor versus a, you know, bring me the plans and we'll build the house for you, because you are going to need the engineered foundations. There is, and I'm going to just put this out here because this is our perspective, our channel. We have seen some lots that are listed on here, but really with the soil reports and the soil conditions, they are unbuildable almost, or you're going to have to dump a lot of money into the lot. And so just buyer beware, I guess, and we'll do our due diligence when you go to build to make sure, or even offer on the property, that the lot is actually buildable. We have talked to quite a few different general contractors that are that design build, and they will walk you through, and it's part of their package to do soils testing and engineering so that you can then proceed to design the home, engineer the home, and then architecturally put together those pieces so that then the builder can actually build the home. So we can help walk you through that as well, just for your information.
So we're at my $850 home. So this is probably the lowest price home. It's a little pocket. It kind of looks more like a traditional neighborhood, except for I see more deer in this area. So you're going to have probably the more affordable homes in this area at $850. Yes, $850. But I want to get out and show you this because it is a lower price option.
Okay, let's go check it out.
One thing that's very important when living here is that Amazon comes here too.
Okay, so I am here to tell you about this home behind me. It's listed at $850,000. It is, don't let it deceive you, it is a 5-bed, 4-bath, 3,900 square foot home. Amazing views out the front here. Lori and I will do a whole segment on the HOA. The HOA is a little bit more pricey. It's $1,020 every quarter. We'll let you know what all that includes. Taxes are a bit more reasonable here up in Cedar Heights because it was developed a little while ago, and so your taxes, even on an $850 home, will still be under $3,000 annually for this caliber of home. So $850,000, amazing views, picturesque scenery. It really is all about the views and the scenery up here in Cedar Heights.
So great option for $850. Now we're in search of some land. I had Kayleen pull over. I had a little detour.
Well, and let's talk about HOA for a minute.
Okay, we always love to talk about HOAs.
Well, HOA, we can talk about pros and cons, but first of all, so HOA up here is $1,020 every quarter. It is a little bit higher. I will say this is probably one of the only areas that actually man their gate.
Look at that house with that view. Oh my gosh.
That actually man their gate. Look at that view of Pikes Peak straight ahead.
I gotta show them that too. I gotta show you guys. Go forward a little bit. I'll get out and show it to them. You finish your HOA
But there's
talk.
covenant and very strict covenant enforcement. Like they really do have a caliber of home up here that will be maintained because of that HOA and the strict covenants. This whole ridge has that view, Lori.
I know that house.
Look at it. So look, you get city views over here and Pikes Peak literally out your backyard. This area, I would say, because I'm trying to think, this is not a golf course community. No. This is, I want to live in the mountains in Colorado, but I need to work downtown and I want a little commute.
Yeah.
Or
work from home.
If they want to leave every weekend and head up to Breckenridge to go skiing, like you are literally on your way out of town.
Yeah.
Up in
this house here, which I think Colorado should build more of, is like patio rooftop. So the home over here has like this patio rooftop that you can sit on and overlook Garden of the Gods. And, well, maybe just Pikes Peak, but great outdoor living space.
Well, and you will have wildlife come right up to you up here.
Gardening will be rough.
Yes, you probably cannot grow a whole lot up here. But as far as the yard goes, you could be very natural. Like, I don't think you would really, you might have a drip system for some shrubbery and some curb appeal up against the house. But a lot of the lawns, I am sure, are more natural. Look at those city views as well.
They're spectacular.
And Pikes Peak, like you feel like you live at the bottom of Pikes Peak here. It is quite amazing, Lori.
It's beautiful. I do like this little ridge. That's what is interesting about living in Colorado Springs or anywhere. I would say one is you're probably like 10-15 minutes from downtown Colorado Springs. You can hit 24 to hit I-25 within a matter of like 10 minutes from this location. I had a really good point I was going to make. What was my point? Oh, I know what it was going to be. There are pockets like this all over the city. Oh, let's pull over and show them this piece of land right here.
Okay.
There's pockets all over the city that are like this. It's like a ray of light again. That you can find these ridges and find these views and find this Colorado lifestyle. Actually, I live in Briargate and my home sits on a ridge and I can see the entire Front Range. I can see Garden of the Gods from my bathroom, but I'm way out in Briargate. So throughout the whole city, each one has kind of a different vantage point. I think it's super interesting when you drive from Denver down to Colorado Springs, how much the mountains change. You look at the same mountain, but as you drive, it changes, looks completely different.
And the perspective, the feel, the, ambiance, it is very different in different areas of the city.
I know. We were scripting out a video the other day. What was the word I was going to make you use? Do you remember what it was? You're like, don't make me use that word.
That was a school word.
Was it? I can't remember what it was.
Geo something.
I was like,
anyways,
I don't know that.
So can we talk real quick before we stop at this piece of land, pros and cons of HOAs?
Okay.
So pro, they do create, and it depends on the involvement of the HOA. So you have very strict HOAs and you have some HOAs that are there, but they really are not that active. And so when you have a very active...
I stopped it. Did you want to keep going?
Oh, no. So when you do have a very active HOA, yes, you will be restricted on what things you can and cannot do when you're building, when you're living there. But in general, they are there to maintain a certain status quo or a caliber of home. And so it does really help keep the value of a lot of homes. In fact, I think one of the stats you pulled, if you were to take two identical homes, one in an HOA and one without, the one with the HOA actually does, on average, keep the value 4% higher because they are going to ensure that your neighbor doesn't, go rogue or operate a mechanic shop in their driveway.
Now, we have clients who say, I don't want anyone to tell me what to do. I want to park my car in the street. I want to park my boat and RV in my driveway. I want to put the landscaping in. I want to build a shed in my backyard. I want to put, and I
just want to do what I want to do.
Yeah. But you just bought a house, and I was surprised you bought into a HOA. It's not kind of like
I know. Well, and with that being said, we're looking at possibly doing a deck expansion and eventually, and even the HOA, it's not, you have to, with this HOA, wrap the columns in stucco or stone.
You can't just do what you want.
You can't just do what you want. And so with that being said, it does create a feel for a neighborhood, and it does help keep the caliber of homes. But if somebody came to us and they said, I do want that cookie cutter, I want my HOA, I don't mind, but I also want to park my RV. I don't really know of very many places.
Timber Ridge. That's where I suggest.
Timber Ridge. So there's, we can help navigate some of those questions that you may have or those wants and needs. But that's what I feel like we're good at. We really know our neighborhoods inside and out. We know our schools inside and out. And so if you give us those must-haves, we're really good about listening and then throwing out maybe some options for you.
Yeah, or Winsome Ranch. I'm thinking now of places.
Now you're thinking of places.
Now I'm thinking of places. So I'm going to get out and show you this land. I know Kaylee likes to talk about HOAs, but mine's more exciting. Let's go out and see the land.
So what I wanted to point out... So here's the top of home, and that mountain right behind it is the top of Pikes Peak.
Yeah.
Just to give you bearings.
So here's the land, and I want to say if you are thinking of doing custom build here, so my husband and I were looking at some land actually in Perry Park, and kind of similar to this, it's really hard to see what that build is going to look like. Usually you want to take advantage of not looking into someone else's home. It's hard sometimes on hillsides of how you build it. And if it's going to be a raised ranch or a 2-story, do you build into the ground? Do you need to get engineering reports along with that? But a lot of times you also want to take advantage of Pikes Peak. So can you build up here? What does that restriction look like? Can you build into it so you could have that rooftop deck I talked about to get out and see that Pikes Peak from this? So it's really important to get an engineer out here with us or a contractor or builder to they know that's their expertise, obviously. So right now we're looking at a $120,000 piece of land here in this area of Cedar Heights.
How big is it?
It's about 0.35 acres, 0.38-ish. But the good thing is utilities from Colorado Springs Utilities already run to the curb. So you're talking about wastewater, your electricity, which is a huge expense when you're doing a build. So really the major part of this is one is finding a builder for that custom build, how big you want it, and then also talking about the soil underneath, like Kaylee noted. How much do you need to prepare for compacting that soil, and how much do you need to dig into the land, that hillside, to create the expense for that build. But there are numerous lots in this area available for a new build. So if you are thinking of you wanting a lot, or you want an existing home, or you want that $1.6 million home we were showing you, this is a great option, a great area here in Colorado Springs. So that's a wrap on our video for Cedar Heights. Actually, we had a viewer comment on, actually it was a TikTok viewer, I think, comment on one of our videos. And a lot of our videos we do are inspired by, inspired is a good word, by your comments. So if there's anything you want to see here in Colorado Springs or a certain area that you don't think we've highlighted, drop that comment below and let us know. We're happy to take that feedback and show you that area. We know you're not here, so you're probably looking at moving here from out of state, out of country.
Tell them about our big green box promotion as well.
Oh yeah, so we have a big green box promotion coming in 2024. We're very excited about it. We've actually done 2. We have our 3rd one on Thursday. And so our clients who close, buy, sell real estate with us here in Colorado can choose from 6 luxury closing gifts. Think of a Louis Vuitton bag, think of a snow blower for the Colorado snow, lawnmower package, big green egg. We have 9 months house cleaning.
You get to pick your closing gift.
We send it to you right before close, and so you get to choose. So we would love to help you make that move here to Colorado Springs. So reach out, put those numbers into your phone. We help hundreds of families make that move every year. We absolutely love it. Our clients get to know each other through our client events, and we get to know you guys, and we pride ourselves on what we do. We love what we do. So we would appreciate if you guys reach out. We absolutely love our jobs. So put those numbers in your phone, and we'll talk to you soon. So we want to stop real quick and tell you a little bit about Cedar Heights. And if you Google it, which a lot of people do, you might see some red flags about this area. So we wanted to kind of address them. So as real estate agents, we see the pros and cons of every area. So we talk about Colorado Springs, or when you live in the mountains, like if you're going to go to Breckenridge or Vail, like there are pros and cons when it comes to fire risk. There are pros and cons when it comes to hail. There are pros and cons in some of the landslide flooding areas, and we're pretty versed in them throughout the region, and they come up, which is obviously you're building a home or a large
you're
investment.
Building on a mountainside.
Right.
Like you aren't building on flat ground and very straightforward. It's more of a complex setting, but that's why you get those mountain views.
So if you want like that Colorado feel for your home, you're probably going to be in the hillside,
which means more money to build, engineered foundations, semi-custom for the lot itself.
So it's really important in these areas to get an engineer who's familiar with that area, who knows what they're doing. So if you look at Cedar Heights in particular, you'll see there is some landslides.
They were in the past, though, right?
Yeah, they're still on a landslide. You know, if you look at it,
it's like a landslide area.
Yeah, it's a landslide area. Like they're not going to get rid of the topography of that area. However, that's why it's super important to have an engineer come out.
And I wonder if it's partially landslide area because of the past fires, which you found when you were doing your research. Actually, Cedar Heights did amazing and actually got national accolades because of their fire mitigation, correct?
They did. So when we had the Waldo Canyon fire of 2012, I think it was, or was that Black Forest? That was Black Forest fire.
Right around there, though. They were all in that same area.
So they had
same time frame.
They fire mitigated. We do that a lot here in Colorado because we were pretty dry, obviously, and so they mitigated it. And so when it came over that hill, actually the Cedar Heights area is the area that stopped the fire because they had mitigated so much, and they had that front line set up, and that's how they got it out, is through that area. So recently they got national accolades, if you look it up, on how much mitigation they've done. And there was a lawsuit actually in late 90s. I think they just settled it in the 2007-ish. Because of the roads. There was some issues with the HOA management. There's a huge HOA in this area, management, and now I believe the HOA has over $1 million to maintain those roads and keep those roads active, because you are building into that hillside.
Well, and with that being said, roads in Colorado, because we have expansive soil, and that's what an architect and an engineer will be advising on, is soil conditions, and if you reach out to us, we can help pair you with one of those builders that then has on staff or outsources engineering, so that you know not only the design of the home, which is, the fun part, that all of the structural pieces are sound. And if you have an engineered foundation, that's where the liability lies.
And I will say, a lot of times our clients will reach out and they're like, hey, I found a great piece of land. It's cheap. And I'm like, well, let's go look at it. Why is it cheap? It's because it's a hard build. Like, you're going to need
more money to build.
Yes. And you're going to have a lot of engineering that goes into that build. And that's why that land is cheap, because it's not as desirable.
But there always is a solution. Yeah. My husband used to build trophy homes over in the Gunnison Crested Butte area. And that's what people did. They picked out their piece of heaven, their slice of heaven. And the answer is there's always a solution. You can always build on it, although it may cost you a pretty penny. So just be prepared. If the land is cheaper or the land is a funky size, you're going to have to get creative with the design and or the engineering and architecture of the home.
And there are beautiful areas you can build outside of Cedar Heights. You're just, but you're going to have more flat land. Like if I look at Winsome Ranch, gorgeous area, you can see the mountains, but you're not going to be in the trees because if you don't want that fire
You
risk,
aren't going to have Pikes Peak literally
no, but you can
off your back
see
deck.
a great area, just different, completely different build than Cedar Heights, because in Cedar Heights you feel like you're in the mountains of the bluffs of Colorado. So very different, but we wanted
Pros and cons.
But so I think if you're thinking of moving out here and want some type of difficult build or want an area like that, make sure to reach out and have someone who knows what they're talking about and can help advise you on that, because it is a big investment.
And when we say reach out, that means reach out to us and we can help pair you with some vetted contractors that have worked in the area, and that, you know, we can help pair you with also per price point, because there's a lot of builders here and they only build specific type of homes or in specific areas,
or
and so we can help you
at one of those homes that we just highlighted. It's important during that inspection period to go through all those due diligence and go through that. So, you know, there's a lot of existing options there too that are absolutely beautiful, which you just saw. So either way, it's important to do your due diligence on some of these areas here in Colorado and throughout Colorado as a general concept. So put those numbers in your phone and reach out.